What's going on, everybody? Appreciate you tuning in. Welcome back to the Fantasy Fitness Network. My name is Matt, and I'm going to be your host today. Today is probably the last day for the Puppy 3, so I figured we would make it kind of a puppy episode here and just get in as many final puppy drafts as we can before the tournament closes. Maybe sneak in a BBM, depending on how I'm feeling, but the main point of this draft today, or this episode, I should say, is going to be to just slam the Puppy 3 before it closes. So let's jump into it. There's not a lot of time left. This tournament is 92% full, and we're going to have a whole bunch of people, slamming slows. So I anticipate that this tournament will be closing today. So we're going to hop on in for our first draft of the day, and then we'll do at least 2 or 3 of these. And like I said, maybe sneak in a BBM, depending on how I'm feeling, how the day's going. All right, so first one here, we are going to be drafting out of the 6 hole for this one. Not my favorite spot, but it's fine. Get a little background music on. Like I said, I'm just chilling here on this Tuesday afternoon. Figured I would go live. We could just slam some puppies here, and depending on how things are going, maybe do a BBM. So that's what I've got on the agenda today. Hop on into these rooms if you guys want to draft with me. Otherwise, kick back, relax, chill, go for a walk, do whatever you got to do. Now, this is a large field tournament, 225,000 entrants. In this one, 2 out of 12, 1 out of 10, and then 1 out of 5. and then a 750 seat final. $100,000 up top, 50,000 to second, 25,000 to third, all that fun stuff. JSN slipping here to 6. This is a very easy click for me. I think JSN is set up to smash again this year. He's probably just going to smash for like the next 10 years if we're being honest. He's only, how old is he? 24? Let's take a quick look. JSN is 24 years old. 6 foot 196. Drafted 20th overall in the 2023 NFL draft. Last year, he put up nearly 1,800 receiving yards on 120 catches, 10 touchdowns. I don't know. Seems like a very easy click in the first round. Call me crazy. Coming up here, we'll be picking at 19 and then again at 30 in the third round. A lot of no badges in this room. Really want this Henry pairing. I haven't got it yet, and I'm still not going to get it. So we're going to go... yeah, we'll go A.J. Brown. Sure. Start this one off. JSN, A.J. Brown, double by week 11. Don't care. Now, haven't really received much clarity on this injury for Jeremiah Love, unfortunately. And, you know, we know it's a high ankle sprain. We don't know any more than that. I think the coach today, Matt LaFleur, said no surgery. But again, I don't find that to be like overly bullish. You know, no surgery is, you know, basically saying it's not going to be a season-ending injury. But I definitely think the beginning of the season is in doubt. Plus, there's complications with high ankle sprains that can keep you out, or, you know, it's easy to, you know, re-injure the ankle. So, and again, I'm no doctor, but, you know, those are just things that, you know, you read in here, and it's common sense. He's off the board anyways here at 27. I think Rice or Smith, if either of them are there, I'd be cool with those clicks. If they're both off the board, then I would probably be Trey McBride. Yeah, we're going to go kind of 0 RB on this one. I mean, we could grab Brees. He's fine. He's a fine click here, but I think Trey McBride in the middle of the third is, again, a pretty easy click. He's been getting a little cheaper. You know, this gap between Bowers and McBride seems probably bigger than it should be. So give me Trey McBride here at pick 30. We'll be back on the clock at pick 43. We get a pull up here of Waddle to 31. So one pairing that I don't yet have over 100 drafts in this tournament is JSN and Derrick Henry. That's one that I'm trying to get, and I have unfortunately been unable to secure that pairing. Would be nice to get that in the portfolio before I call it quits. Otherwise, I feel like I've gotten all sorts of, you know, running back combinations over here and done a whole bunch of things with Lamb and Jefferson and then the RB2s. But the one thing I haven't got is the JSN Henry pairing. So trying to nail that one down, but it doesn't look like it's going to, well, it's not going to happen on this draft. I don't know if I will get it in on this one. What's up, Fantasy Dog 1? Appreciate you stopping by the channel. We're doing puppy closing day. Final drafting frenzy, as I'm calling it. Just going to slam a bunch of puppies, but I might sneak a BBM in here. I've got a little bit longer today, too, to stream. My kids are sleeping, doing their naps, so I'm going to probably get 2.5 to 3 hours in on this stream. Be doing a whole bunch of puppies and possibly a BBM. So we'll see how the drafts treat us. That's kind of what's on the agenda for today. Be looking here to add one of these running backs, most likely. Would also be cool with Tet, but Javonta, ETN, Tet. Or we go and, take Josh Allen, but I have other thoughts. He goes anyways. Kind of how I want to build this out at the quarterback position. It's kind of between, ETN and Swift here for me. Trying to think which one I want more. They're both pretty good. Maybe I do go Swift on this one. There's no real correlation or anything in particular. I think these guys are neck and neck in my rankings. So why don't we just pull up Swift here? I think he's fine at this price. Manungai's out with a hyperextended knee. What kind of lasting effects that's going to have? And I think he's fairly limited anyways in terms of his, what he can do. Obviously, I think he's more than Manungai I'm referring to here is more than just a handcuff, but 7th round draft capital out of Rutgers. He busts his ass. He's a hardworking kind of guy, but in terms of his physical abilities and skill set, I think he's relatively limited. Now he's got that dog in him, and I love that about Manungai, but just as a pure talent, I think his upside is limited. Obviously, in the event of a Swift injury, that changes things a little bit. But my order here is like Monty, Swift, ETN. I'm kind of cool with all for those three guys. Tutin's definitely more of a 5th rounder for me. I like Judkins in a vacuum, but he is unfortunately on the Browns. I'll still click him, but he's kind of a mid-5th. His team environment kind of limits him, I think, in terms of touchdown equity. And we'll see what wide receivers they leave us. If I don't like the wide receivers, I'll grab a running back here. But it looks like they're going to leave us one of these three at the top. And JMO would make sense for some correlation with the Swift pick, since I pulled Swift up. If we get a fall on JMO, I think that would be pretty cool. I think Terry's fine and Adams is fine. We could also do the thing where you pull up Parker Washington, but there's some news on him today. He's going to be out a week with an undisclosed injury. So maybe the Parker Washington hype dies down a little bit. Yeah, we're going to grab JMO here. He's a faller, and we're going to get the correlation in that Chicago-Detroit game, week 17. So nice little pairing there with Swift and JMO for the 1v1. I don't take a ton of JMO, but I do want to mix him in because he has gotten better. He's a little bit of a frustrating player, but definitely worth a click. So quick recap of the team. We have a 0-1-3-1 build going so far. So kind of a hero build. 3 studs here in the wide receiver room: JSN, AJ Brown, and Jameson Williams. And then we have at tight end Trey McBride. We're not in a great running back space. I mean, it's not terrible, but we could definitely tag up Drake May here with AJ Brown. If we wanted to, we could grab one of these wide receivers, but I don't know. It might make more sense at this point to grab an elite quarterback and stack him up, like AJ Brown stacked up with Drake May. We could pull up Ramadre. I don't think that's a bad idea. And who knows, I guess Travion Henderson, he's been a faller. Maybe he falls all the way back. They're saying here 50-50 split is kind of what Chad Graff here of The Athletic is predicting. That's how I did it in my projections when I did the New England Patriots. We go out here to Fantasy Fitness. We look at the best ball zone, and we look at the projections for New England. I basically went here. If you look at the rush attempts, I have it basically a 50-50 split. I'm not saying that's right, but kind of hard to predict one way or the other that it's going to go. At this point, we'll see if Drake May is there. If May's there, probably go May for the stack. Yeah, I could do Ramadre here too and consolidate into New England, but I think in this particular case, let's go with the stack. And then we're in a range here where we could maybe get Pollard on a fall. It's probably the way to play it. Or you grab Jonathan Brooks. But yeah, 50-50 split, kind of projecting here around 175 rushing attempts for each. Now, Henderson's been a little bit more efficient in the rushing game on a per touch basis, so he's projecting a little bit more yardage. And then I also have Henderson for a little bit, a few more receiving yards, or receptions and receiving yards. So both these guys are right around 1,000 to 1,100 projected all-purpose yards, 10 touchdowns, 8 to 10 touchdowns, kind of in that range as sort of a median projection. Now, I would love to get Pollard back here. I think he would be very useful for this build because I'm going kind of late hero RB. It's not like hero in the sense of like a top, first, second round hero. One of these guys, kind of starting off with Swift. So we definitely like to get one of these running backs back, but I don't think it's going to happen. The guys on the right, they painted green very heavily, and then these guys are going to be kind of starving for their second because we've got 2, 1, 1. So I'll probably push and then see if I can get back like a Rico or a Corum or something like that, a Harvey maybe, Dobbins, because these guys will most likely cool off in that position. No guarantees, of course. If Pollard's there, I'll take Pollard. I'm just not anticipating it because both of these guys have 1, and then the board's painted pretty green over here. But you never know what people want to do. You don't know how people are feeling. This guy pulls up Harvey. I mean, at that point, I could grab Caleb here and be done at quarterback. Don't know that I want to do that, though. I think coming back and getting Pollard here at 78 feels like the right move since I'm already kind of behind the 8 ball a little bit here at running back. If this was an elite, like this was a Derrick Henry or a Saquon Barkley, one of those guys, probably would feel a little bit better pushing this and making it a more extreme hero. But being that it's DeAndre Swift, I would have got this, I would have created a game stack there with Caleb. It would have been like Caleb to Swift with the JMO bringback, but I don't think it was necessary. I've got a lot of other stacking quarterbacks here. I could go Darnold. I could go Goff. So I'll pass on Caleb there. I guess we'll let it's not even the Rome drafter who gets them. It's just an unstacked Caleb Williams over here at 82. Good price. Can't argue with the price, but he doesn't have them stacked up. So I don't know. Interesting click for Eli over here at the 10 hole. Coming back, we'll be on the clock here at 91 and then again at 102. If you're coming in late, this is a puppy 3. Puppy 3 is probably going to be closing tonight, sometime in the evening, 92, 93% on the fill rate. So I just don't see, I don't see it staying open probably past tonight because people are going to also put their slows in as well. I think I would either be like Laporta here or Dobbins. Chuba's fine, but Dobbins sets up like a bring back. Laporta's also pretty nice here at 91, but I already have the elite in Trey McBride. It's pretty close between Dobbins and Laporta here. If I go Laporta, I'm 2 and I'm done. But Dobbins feels good on a build like this where you're starting off with your first RB at 43. So why don't we go Dobbins? Could still get Kyle Pitts if we really wanted a double elite. We could get him on the way back. So I'd rather secure that third running back. Plus he's a bring back to my AJ Brown, Drake May stack. It's kind of twofold. I need a running back there, or I would prefer a running back. And then you combine it with the fact that I've got the bring back for New England and Denver. And maybe the way to play that game is through the running back because you do have, the all-pro Christian Gonzalez. So if you've got Waddle or something like that, he may get shut down week 17. Not to say he won't be useful for the other weeks, of course, but he might not be the best week 17 matchup. So maybe week 17 is going to be like a RJ Harvey, J.K. Dobbins, Jonah Coleman type of game. Hard to say. Now here, we're getting the fall on Alec Pierce. He continues the fall. That's interesting. And then we have Kyle Pitts. Or we grab like JCM. I think all those guys make sense on a build like this. Kenny Gainwell, he's also on the menu here. Well, it's kind of between these two. I think I want to go JCM, trying to get a little bit more of him. I have a ton of Kyle Pitts. 20% across all my post-draft drafts, I guess that's how you say it. But that one's pretty close. If I didn't have Trey McBride, obviously I'm taking Pitts there. And even with Trey McBride, it's close, in terms of taking Pitts. I think Goff would be good here. And if I miss out on Goff, then because I've got to my right, I have to my left the St. Brown drafter and the Laporta drafter. So if someone wants to take Goff unstack, then I'll lose out on him. Maybe it's this guy that's got some correlation with Chicago. I'm generally not clicking Goff unstacked, but I do see people do it either to mess with you or they just like how he projects. But I think Goff on the way back, and then I could stop at 2. That's assuming Pitts is going to be gone. Could also just go into this game like New England and Denver and buy the quarterback too, and then backstack with like a Pat Bryant kind of piece to get a receiver. Just thinking through how I want to play this. Pitts is gone, so I think Goff is probably my primary target here. Feel like I made up ground pretty well at that running back room after not starting until pick 43 with Swift. And then I would also get the game stack here if I get Goff as well, because Goff offers the the stack with JMO and the Swift bring back. Let's see what this guy wants to do. If he's an unstacked Goff kind of guy, or if he's going to go with something else here. Okay, he pulls up Chris Rodriguez to 114. Let's go ahead and get the stack. We're going Goff to JMO with the Swift bring back. Stop here at 2 quarterbacks on a build like this. We could add a late third, but nothing that I'm going to try to get, nothing I'm going to reach up for. It would have to be like a fall on, if I get like a fall for Darnold back to 150, then I'll click him here. I'm not going to take him at 139 because I want to work on the other position groups. But if I get a fall back on Darnold at 150, then he's on the table because I do have the JSN piece. But that's normally how I'll play this when I have 2 strong, unless there's just like literally nothing else on the board that I like. I'm going to push the 3rd and try to get value in that 10th round or 12th round, excuse me, and then come back and try to get Darnold in the 13th. Again, assuming that there's something else there I like in the 12th round. Now, if there's just nothing I like, then I'll take the quarterback just to strengthen it up. But generally, there's something else there. Now, I could double stack the 2 starting wide receivers here. If Romeo comes back to 126, that would be a pretty damn good price on him. He ends up going wow, Wick's up here at 125. This guy knows ball. Do we go Kelsey or Higgins? What's up with Higgins? Dealing with leg injury should be okay. We could grab Kelsey and be done at quarterback tight end. Why don't we do that? Kelsey's a good price here at 126. Not a huge fall, but I think that's a good price on him. Guys like Kincaid are already off the board. Here I'll probably end up grabbing the wide receiver. Maybe it's Poker, Debo, Shaheed, or Boston. It's probably the way I'm gonna play it here, because I am a little behind now at wide receiver. Not horribly behind, but definitely a little behind. So got to make up some ground. Want to get at least 7, probably 8 on this build. But when you start off 3 in the first 4 rounds, or 3 in the first 5, I think that gives you a lot of flexibility on how you want to come back and build out the rest of this room. Because I am really top heavy with JSN, Brown, and Williams. 3 elite wide receivers on elite offenses, tethered to elite quarterbacks. I think my preference is either of these 2 guys. And I definitely could have gone Higgins over Kelsey, but okay. See, we got tapped out here. Now we could grab like Woody Marks and be done at running back, or we grab Sam Darnold, or I pull up somebody. I think we just grab Woody, and now feel like we're in pretty good shape there in the running back room. Was definitely hoping for one of those wide receivers, but they went right before me. Boston and Shaheed. That's fine. The way I would build this out now is I could be done at quarterback. I could be done at tight end and running back. I could go 6 straight, finish with 9. I could go 5 and add 1 more running back or add a quarterback somewhere in here. But I see at least 5, 5 of these 6 are going to be dedicated to wide receivers. And I think we'll be just fine. And if we added 6 and we did like a 2-5-9-2, I think that would also work out just fine. if we would have, like I said, pushed Darnold, he wasn't going to make it back anyways. He ends up going here at 145. So, but May and Goff, it's a little light, but I think this is easily, you can easily pass this as a 2 quarterback room. Pretty damn easily. All right, let's grab Trey Tucker. We're just going to get to work in this wide receiver room. We'll start the run here with Trey Tucker. Normally he's my 5th, 6th, or 7th. It's rare that I have him as my 4th. But in this particular case, because of how we decided to build out these rooms, he is the 4th on this team. But we're going to go high volume here. We're going to go 8 or 9 wide receivers, and we started off 3 up top, so I think we'll be just fine. Everybody else is probably going to be a little tapped out on wide receiver because they've done a lot of their work in those rooms. So hopefully we get some fallers here between picks 163 and 211 and just start kicking ass and taking names. Fantasy Dog says, I just spent all that time messing with my under account, thought they shut it down. Wicks at 125. Yeah, that was pretty crazy. And then team's looking good so far. Yeah, I think we're in good shape. I mean, if I didn't have the 2 up top and Williams here, I'd be probably sweating a little bit with this wide receiver room. But when you have those 2 guys plus JMO on a high volume, pass volume offense, I think we're just fine. I'm fine with either of these 2 guys. Preference is Harris, but I would be cool with either. I think Harris has a chance to be the number 2 in that offense. And, second year breakout is definitely in the range of outcomes for him. So, I mean, it feels top heavy for sure. But when you start, cherry picking wide receivers the rest of the way, we got a little correlation here. Travis Kelce and Trey Harris week 17 just kind of fell into that. We have week 50 correlation here with Trey Tucker and J.K. Dobbins. That's our 1 out of 10 week. So that feels pretty good. Plus we've got the Drake May to A.J. Brown with the Dobbins bring back for week 17. And I was mentioning maybe it's the running backs that have a better chance of popping off that week because you have a guy like Christian Gonzalez they'd be matched up against. Here, we could go Pat Bryant. We could take that rookie upside swing on Cyrus Allen. We could grab Jacoby Lane. Flournoy might be a faller, but you see these guys are already up to 6, and they probably need, other positions. Not necessarily. Of course, they could grab those guys, but I do think we're going to have some nice picks here. I mean, I'm cool with either of these 2 guys. Probably would go Pat because I don't think he's getting matched up with Cyrus Allen or with Christian Gonzalez week 17. So why not take the, it's not Sutton, it's not Waddle, but it's the guy who's not going to be matched up with their premium cornerback that week. And we're consolidating. Now we have a 2v2 full game stack here. We've got Drake May to A.J. Brown on one side, Dobbins and Pat Bryant on the other side. And I'm, honestly don't even feel that weak here at wide receiver. I think that is the weakest room probably on this build, but I don't even really feel that weak. We can have Isaac Tesla back here. We could get a double. This is the anti-Amon-Ra St. Brown build where you get Goff to Williams to Tesla. I mean, Cyrus Allen falls back. I'll probably take him just for kind of the rookie upside swing. I don't anticipate he'll be here, but 7, 7, 6, 7, right? There's a chance we get him back. Caleb Douglas, he's been kind of climbing up the board here. There's all sorts of good names still left on the board. And then at some point, I'll probably drop in another running back, probably just one more running back. It could be like a Braylon Allen and Emmett Johnson, guys that kind of have a story to tell where you could see them kind of making waves if, say, Breece Hall re-aggravates that groin injury, or let's say it's he goes Katron Allen. Okay, interesting. Let's grab Tesla. I mean, we already have Goff. We might as well double stack it, consolidate, and we've got the bring back here with Swift. So again, we're not reaching to make these things happen. If anything, we're getting them at value. 187, ADP of 183. Pat Bryant right at ADP. Trey Harris at value. Tucker, yeah, I pulled him up a little bit, but I think he's one of the better clicks on the board in the back half, and literally has a chance to be the wide receiver 1. Has gotten better every year. I don't understand his price. I think he should be going higher, but I'm happy to take advantage of it. Here, Caleb Douglas, if he falls, we could grab the rookie upside in Ted Hurst. Maybe this is where we choose to grab that last running back if we don't like our other options. Because we're at a 2.572. Definitely want at least 8 in this wide receiver room, but it doesn't have to be 9. That was just a thought. I think we'd be fine at 8 if push comes to shove. Could be a 2.682. I think that's probably how I'm going to play it. I mean, Kayshon Boutte would be a double if we wanted to do that, and then we're talking about a 3v2, and we're basically mega stacking that game out, Denver versus New England. That's one way to do it. I do like the idea of grabbing like Braylon Allen or Emmett Johnson here. Boutte goes anyways. So I think because we're into Kansas City with like Trey Harris here, Emmett Johnson looked pretty good. I think he's going to earn that RB2 role. I think he's bigger. He's jukier. He's just better in my mind than Brashard Smith. So why don't we grab Emmett Johnson here at 20 or 198? I mean, 205, whatever. These are all $1 auction drafts at this point. And then we just finish this up with a wide receiver, and we build out a 2.682, and we're crushing it. We're taking our opponent's souls right out of their bodies. We could go Tyquan Thornton. We could grab Troy Franklin if we like him for like low ownership here. Chris Bell just got activated, increasing practice involvement. This is a person who we didn't even think was going to be playing. Bateman and Hurst. Whoops, not Nicholson, but Bateman, Hurst, Vele with the 2-month injury to Jordan Tyson. I think I'm moving Vele up. Vele, Hurst, Tyquan, something like this. I don't want to over invest into the Broncos. I think 2 pieces is nice, and you get 2 pieces on the other side. Yeah, I think we did a good job here. Okay, he ends up going with Hurst. So, I don't know. It's kind of between Thornton and Vele, or we take an upside swing here with Chris Bell. I don't know. Bell seems kind of interesting. It's just like a rookie mystery box. Kind of know what Vele is, you know, in terms of, I mean, I think he'll be fine. He's more of a floor play for me. And we've got a hamstring injury here for Tyquan. So just grabbing like a late Chris Bell. You never know. What is the schedule for Miami? Take a real quick look at that. Miami has Green Bay, Kansas City, and Green Bay, Chargers, and Buffalo. So we have the correlation here with our Charger pieces, week 16. You know, kind of just stumbled into that, but that's Trey Harris. So we have the Trey Harris 1v1 here with Chris Bell, week 16. Let's review the team. I think it's a pretty solid team. I don't do a lot of 2-6-8-2s, but I think this build definitely warranted it. We went Drake May and Jared Goff at quarterback. We have DeAndre Swift, Tony Pollard, J.K. Dobbins, JCM. These are kind of all starters in their respective backfields. Obviously, they're sharing the workload, but they're the respective starters. Then you have kind of the pass catching upside of Woody Marks and kind of a late upside swing here in Emmett Johnson. You know, we've seen some injuries with Kenneth Walker. I think he's going to earn the RB2 role. He's good in the passing game. I think he'll have some value down the stretch. Wide receivers, we start 3 in the first 5. This is our kind of top level talent here. We go JSN, AJ Brown, and JMO. Come back and get Trey Tucker, Trey Harris, Pat Bryant, Isaac Tesla, and Chris Bell. I mean, it feels a little light, but when you think of like how many points these guys can put up, plus if he is the wide receiver 1 in Las Vegas and he earns the wide receiver 2 role, he's seems to be cementing himself as these guys as wide receiver 3s on potent offenses, and then Chris Bell for the rookie upside. And then obviously we got 2 studs here in the tight end room. You've got the Hammer and Trey McBride, who's correlated with Trey Tucker. And then you've got Travis Kelce, who's he's in a 2v1 here with Emmett Johnson and Trey Harris on the other side. So some nice correlation. If we look at value, whatever, I'm not counting him. Value at ADP value. So, I mean, we're scooping value to make this happen. It's not a lot of reaching around the board. I think we did a pretty damn good job putting this one together. Again, 2 plus an elite tight end. Get your first running back here. Come back and get a 1v1 going right off the jump. Stack up AJ Brown. Hammer the running backs. Catch that tier with JCM, where we kind of know him as like the last starter, or should be the last starter. He's kind of right at that spot at least, right? Goff for the stack with JMO and the bring back with Swift. Get our second tight end and stop at 2 because we've got McBride. Grab Marks, slam those wide receivers, tack on 1 more running back, and then let's take a big upside swing here in Chris Bell, who happens to also have some correlation with Trey Harris for week 16. So, pretty good build. Good way to start off this day, this stream. We're going to hop into another one. Fantasy Dog 1 says, why is Keenan only worth $8.32 million? Him and WDR are the ultimate floor plays here. Yeah, no, I don't know what his signing was. You said 8.3 million. I think it's just age at this point, health. It's probably what it really boils down to. And then team's looking good, caught up at wide receiver. Yeah, I think so. I think we're in pretty good shape. Should be a fun team to add to the portfolio. Don't do a ton of 2-6-8-2s. So definitely like mixing in this build structure. I don't want everything to be 3-5-7-3s or 3-5-8-2s or 2-5-8-3s, whatever. So it's good to get off of those more classic build structures and mix in these types of builds as well. All right, we're headed back for more. We're dropping into the Puppy 3 again, 92.1 on the fill rate, but this thing's going up about, 6 to 8% a day. And I think as soon as people see it's in like the mid 90s, you're going to get all those people that come in and just slam a bunch of slows just so that they can lock up a certain number of drafts. I told myself when I started this tournament, I wanted to do between 50 and 75. I'm at 61, going on 62. So based on where I'm at and the pace of fill here, I'll probably land right where I want to be. So let's head on in for another one. Waiting for 9. This one should fill pretty quick. So yeah, this is Puppy closing day. Final drafting frenzy, as I'm calling the episode. So I just want to get as many as I can in before the door closes on Puppy 3. And then we've got BBM. If we look at the other tournaments out there, it's pretty scarce at the moment. I imagine they're going to drop some as soon as this one closes, but that's probably what they're waiting for, I have to imagine. We've got BBM, of course. We've got Big Dog, which is getting close to filling. That's a $500 entry fee. We've got the Mastiff for high stakes. Really, I mean, I guess I'd classify both of these as high stakes, but the Mastiff for sure. But this is only 540 entrants, so really small field. First place gets 100K. That's pretty fun. I mean, you're only going up against 540 other entrants. Obviously, you got to put $1,000 in, but pretty damn small field there. Same with the Big Dog, 2160. And, you know, but pretty, well, at least out of the first pod, 2 out of 12. Your standard 2 out of 12, but then 1 out of 6 and 1 out of 5, and you're only in a 10-seat final. You finish in the top 10, you're coming out of there with at least $10,000. 200,000 to first, though. Oh, sweet. And we have Fantasy Dog 1 in here. So Fantasy Dog 1, right? Oh, and we're adjacent to one another here at 3 and 4. So we'll be battling. And then at the end, I'll review your team. We'll see how we both did. But Fantasy Dog 1 here at the 3 hole, and I'm at the 4 hole. I don't recognize any other names in here. We do have some goat horns at the 101. And then I think I've seen Patrick Stoley around. I don't know who that is. He's a bronze badge, so clearly has some experience. We'll go ahead and do the standard top 4 here. Bijan, or Gibbs, Bijan, Chase, and Puka. Fantasy Dog 1 goes with Jamar Chase. And I grab Puka. But Fantasy Dog 1 is requesting that I don't snipe him. So we'll have to see how his build shapes up, and then I'll be able to anticipate who his players are. I won't intentionally snipe you, I'll say that. But if I need that player, you know, I can't promise anything. Also want to let you guys know that this episode is sponsored by Fantasy Fitness. That's the app I've been building for the last year and a half. So it has all the latest fantasy news, player and team metrics. You can go over here to the fantasy tab. This is actually not behind the paywall either. And I pull down the news 5 times a day from 5 different news sources: ESPN, CBS Sports, NBC Sports, Yahoo Sports, Fantasy Footballers. There might be another one in there too. Yeah, Fantasy Footballers. You see those coming in. So 5 different news sources. I tag those articles. Basically, I parse over the title and look for keywords, and then I can tag them with certain categories, and then you can filter by those category types. Again, this is entirely free. When you click on an article, it just takes you out to that respective platform, and you can read the article from their website. But you can see here, right? We're already getting the news on Tyson. You just come out here to the news center once a day and read a handful of articles. You'll stay up to date on your fantasy news. So all the latest fantasy news, player and team metrics. Every player gets its own profile page. Every team gets their own profile page. For example, we just click on Bijan here. I've been working on some algorithms to try to assess like talent in a vacuum, team environment, and then I kind of marry those 2 scores together and come up with an overall team score. I've got their stats both on a last year and a career basis, so you can kind of see how are they trending last year relative to their career averages. You can see his rush volume went up, his yardage went up, touchdowns went down actually, but there's a bunch of good stuff in there. That's also entirely free, not behind a paywall. Here we've got, been taking a lot of Drake London. I mean, you can't go wrong with any of these 3. I think though, I'm going to go neighbors. I have like 1% neighbors in this entire tournament over 90, whatever drafts I'm into, 91. So I've got to get some neighbors in here just in case. I'm going to pull him up because I'm way underweight. And this is a time box tournament. So game theory wise, I don't really have to worry about, the guys that got him in the 4th round, like in BBM and stuff like that. So I definitely want to get some neighbors. I'm finally going to pull him up here to 21 and pair him up with Puka. And then Fantasy Dog 1 goes with London. So he's starting off Chase London. I love that start. And I gave him a good price here on London by pulling up neighbors. But I have to just get some neighbors in this tournament. McBride at 26. So that makes me feel even better about my price, my pick 30 price on him. Jeremiah Love. I will take him still in this tournament, but I prefer to get him at the back of the 3rd at this point with the news. And there's just no good information about this injury yet. So why don't I grab Smith and we'll start this off as a 0 RB build. We're going Puka, Neighbors, and Smith. And we also have a 0 RB start here for Fantasy Dog 1. He goes Chase, London, and Rice. I think these are 2 really solid starts for both of us. Can't go wrong. I mean, really, top 3 or 4 rounds, it's kind of hard to screw it up. But, once we get to like round 8 through round 18, that's when we'll really kind of see how these builds are forming. But yeah, all the latest fantasy news, player team metrics. And if you're playing Dynasty or Redraft on FFPC, Sleeper, or Yahoo, you can integrate your rosters. It pulls that roster down immediately from that platform. This has been refreshed as of, literally 10 seconds ago. You get your full breakdown of your roster. You can add individual player notes if you're working trades with league mates in your league. You can see the whole landscape of your league from this view here and see what players they have, what draft picks they have. So lots of cool stuff over here on Fantasy Fitness. Definitely worth checking it out. And I have a ton of stuff that isn't behind the paywall. The plans do start at $4 a month, but I think for everything I've built out, that feels like a very reasonable price. That's sort of a starter package for what you get. If you want to go behind the paywall, of course, you don't have to do that. All right, let's get back to the board view. Coming up on my pick here at 45, Fantasy Dogs picking at 46. And then again, we're both on the clock at 51 and 52. I do have to still get a couple rookies in. So, I've got some subscribers in there. I don't have a place to add notes yet to kind of tell people what I'm working on, but I'm a little behind on a few of the rookies. I'm going to try to get them in this week. But outside of that, I feel like everything else on the platform is running in tip-top shape. Amika at 44. Damn, that would have been nice. With Puka, damn, that would have been real nice. I'm gonna go Montgomery on this one. Like I said, Montgomery, Swift, those guys, it's really close for me. I know what I'm getting with Montgomery. His projectable volume is pretty locked in, and he is a good player. So I'll grab Monty here. And Fantasy Dog grabs Scat at 46. I think that's also a good price on him. I have been clicking him a little bit less. I could have consolidated here into the Giants, but I don't know. I'm not like overly enthusiastic about the Giants this year. Definitely want to take some stabs, but don't want to go crazy with, Giants. Definitely like getting Scat if I have like Pickens, Neighbors. That's, whatever. You can consolidate if you want. Okay, here I think I'm going to go Evans. Kind of into these hero builds today. for whatever reason. That's just how I'm playing the board for these first two. Puka, Neighbors, Smith, and Evans. That feels pretty damn nasty, if you ask me. Fantasy Dog grabs that second running back. I think if Judkins is there, I do like Judkins as a click. He's in like RB mode light. I'm in RB mode 0 RB light. I would classify this as. This is more of like a late hero / 0 RB. Kind of an interesting build for both of us. But I grabbed the 1v1. I took the fall on Mike Evans and I had Smith. So I've taken some correlation here. If Amika would have fallen back, I would have gone like true 0 RB and taken Amika 4 straight wide receivers. Because that price on him plus the 1v1 with Puka. I mean, you see people doing Amika at 27 or 28, I guess it is, to get that 1v1. To get it, to have gotten it here at 45 would have been a total treat. Unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be, but that would have been super cool. So instead, I take Monty, come back and get the 1v1 here with Evans and Smith for week 17. I do need to get into the running backs pretty damn quickly. Maybe I try to double tap running backs here. What up, young Moolah? Welcome in. Appreciate you stopping by the channel. At GAB for Life. If you guys aren't following GAB for Life, you have to check out his channel. I think he's got 4 shows that he puts on throughout the week. You know, when he's got his normal, when he's doing his normal schedule. So definitely check him out. Super entertaining. He has a killer intro. It's just good times over there. So definitely smash that subscribe button for GAB for Life. And if you haven't done it for Fantasy Fitness, do that as well. Help me grow this channel. So late hero is what I've got brewing on this one. We'll see what we want to do here. I don't see a stacking partner or necessarily any reason outside of like good pricing to take one of these quarterbacks. I think I'm in a little bit more need for running back here. So I don't know. I don't think Ramadre is coming back, unfortunately. I thought Ramadre was going to come back. Maybe I think I'm going to grab him here. Fantasy Dog 1 can get his stack with Chase. I'm happy. He's happy. Now, does he want to push it around the turn and try to scoop some value here and then get Chase back at 75? Or is he just going to lock it up? Kind of curious how he wants to play this. Yeah, and Fantasy Dog 1 agrees with me on Young Moolah. He kicks ass. So, like I said, you definitely want to smash that subscribe button for GAB for Life. What's up, Mike Rob? Thanks for stopping by the channel. All right, so Fantasy Dog 1 plays it safe. He takes Burrow here at 70 to get the stack with Chase. He didn't want to risk one of these guys on the edge, just taking them unstacked. I think that's fair. You know, sometimes it's worth it, sometimes it isn't. I go back and forth. I've done it a few times. I did it in BBM and the guy didn't let me have it. I kind of kicked myself for not taking it. But we go kind of late hero here. We go David Montgomery and Ramadre. I am going to grab Jalen Hurts here. I could grab Pollard. He's the only other one that really makes sense, I guess, unless I wanted to grab the tight end. But I have the Devonta piece, and I can get the stack with Mike Evans and create a game stack. So I just don't think it's worth it for Pollard. I mean, he's good, but I'll be fine. I think there's other guys I like that I can get at picks 93 and 100. Some guys I have in mind there. So we'll let Pollard go past me on this one. And Brooks, for that matter. Brooks at 76 is just a little too rich for my blood. But let's go over the team real quick. We have Jalen Hurts at quarterback. Late hero here, I grabbed David Montgomery at 45. Started off 3 strong. Oh, and I have Ramadre. And then I started off 3 strong. So 0 RB light. We go Puka, Neighbors, and Smith. And then take Monty, come back and get Evans in the 5th. So 1, 2, 4, 0. The thing that was interesting so far on this draft was Amika falling back to 44. If he would have fallen here to 45, I would have done like a true 0 RB build here because I have the 1v1 with Puka and Amika, and I love that price on him. You've got, this is an Ohio State prospect who's got a little turf toe, and now he falls to pick 44. I mean, that would have been like an insta-click for me, along with the correlation. But we come up 1 short. Maybe it was for the best. I take Monty. It's fine. Come back and get Stevenson. Get the stack with Smith and Hurts. Bring back with Evans. You guys know the drill. Hartman says that 76 might be the cheapest we see Brooks the rest of the summer. It's possible. I mean, he has been getting, more and more expensive, but just I can't at this price. I mean, he's literally had like 10 snaps in the NFL. I know that we have to project in this game and that Chuba's dealing with a hamstring injury, but I'm just not going to be part of that. Y'all can do what you want to do. So to each their own. I think Corum here would be super fun because I have some Rams pieces. He ends up going. So now it's kind of between like Harvey, Dobbins, Chuba. I could also go double on Malachi. He's falling back here to 93. That feels like a good price. I don't normally do double Philly. So I wish it was Corum that was there. Dobbins ends up going. So why don't we go Malachi or Makai Lemon here? We'll take the double stack with Hurts, Lemon, and Smith. I don't do this a lot, so I guess it's good to mix in things you don't do. But pick 93, ADP of 82. Don't really like the running back options for this particular build. I guess it's a 1v1 with Ramadre and Harvey, but he's been falling. It's possible he's even there at 9. I guess it'd be 100 by the time I'm back on the clock. If not, I don't mind trying to grab like a Mason or a JCM, or even in this case, pulling up like a Gainwell. Because Gainwell's probably not coming back to 117. I do see him in the 10th quite a bit, but I never see him really kind of make it over to this part of the 10th. So I'd be fine with either of those. This guy grabs JCM, so he's off the table. We'll see what these other guys do. Harvey's there. I mean, at this price, I think Harvey is reasonable. Getting him on a fall. I guess we'll go ahead and do that. It was kind of between Harvey and Mason. I think you could argue for either of those guys. Mason's got kind of the first and second down grinder role locked up, but he's not involved at all in the passing game. Harvey's pretty crappy in the first and second down roles, but he's kind of that pass catching back. But at this price, I'm getting 12 picks of ADP value on him. I have a little correlation with New England. I definitely needed a running back there when I chose to go with Makai Lemon. But again, 93, ADP of 82. I've got the double stack. I've got the bring back with Evans. And I heard he was back at practice, or he was walking around practice. So I don't know. I think that's fine. Let's see what Fantasy Dog 1 has been up to here. So he ends up getting Burrow. That's kind of where I stopped talking about his team. He stacked up Burrow with Chase And then he pulls Dowdle up to 75. I think that's fine. It's kind of, it's a little rich, but I don't think it's egregious. Grabs Mahomes for the Rice stack. I like that at 94. And then grabs his elite tight end here with Pitts at 99. So Fantasy Dog 1 putting a really good build together here. Hopefully we're the two that make it out of this pod. We'll have to see what happens. But today is puppy closing day. Maybe it doesn't close exactly today, but it will almost certainly close tomorrow. Might close in the middle of the night. Might close tonight at 10 p.m. when we get our night streamers on. So I'm just slamming puppies because this is probably it. Now coming back here, we have Kenny Gainwell. If he falls back to me, I would take him. I would also take Rachaad White because I'm going to get starved out at running back if I don't grab one of those guys. But I like Purdy too to stack up with Evans. I don't normally do like the week 17 game where I take quarterbacks on both sides, wide receivers on both sides, but I do it occasionally. Again, if you're doing 100 drafts, I think you mix anything in. Stribling gets pulled up to 109 here. So Stribs is off the table. But Purdy, Gainwell, White, I'd even throw Bo Nix in here because I have Harvey, who's a pass catching back, and I could backstack. I could backstack like a Pat Bryant. Hartman asks, no way we're getting a puppy 4, right? I mean, it's possible. It's possible. 3 weeks left. Do they think we could put another 225,000 in? I don't know. That's a good question. Oh, and I can't forget about my boy Stafford here either. I don't take him a ton because I only usually take him if I've got either Adams or Puka. But yeah, I think I would have to take him here at 117 if he makes it back. I don't know if he will. This guy, I guess, could take him unstacked. Does he want to do that? He ends up going with White. So since those guys get cleared out, we are going to get Stafford here. Stafford to Puka. No Tampa pieces yet, but I think we're okay. Little light here at the running back spot, but I'll try to get to work here pretty soon. I think you could justify taking C-Rod or Jones here if you don't like your other options. I feel really, really good at wide receiver. I feel like I could just pause here for a minute and come back and deal with that later. So I don't mind pulling up these running backs because they're probably not coming back to me. I'm too close to the left side of the board here to see any of those guys coming back to 141 or 148. So I do think I'm going to take a running back here. Really for like structural reasons more than anything. I prefer C-Rod, I think, to Jones this year. It's kind of an age thing and an ambiguous backfield. I think Jacksonville's going to be a better team with more touchdown equity than Minnesota. I could be wrong about that, but I'm going to grab Chris Rodriguez here at 124. And let's do a quick recap of this team. We have at quarterback, we have Jalen Hurts and Matthew Stafford. Could stop at 2. Could add a third if we want, but I think it's entirely fine to stop at 2 with a build like this. Running backs are Monty, Stevenson, Harvey, and C-Rod. For not starting until 145, I think we're actually doing okay there. Wide receivers, this is the strength of the build. We have Puka, Neighbors, Smith, Evans, and Mekhi Lemon. We've got the double stack here in Philly with the Evans bring back. We have a little 1v1 here with Stevenson and Harvey. And then Puka is also stacked up here with Matthew Stafford. Probably would be a good time to get into the tight end market. If we get a fall on Goddard, I could triple stack that offense. I don't really like the idea of that. I'm not going to take Chig over Goddard though, but maybe I take like a Ferguson. Do I want the triple? I mean, Hurts isn't really known for, it's not really a high pass volume offense. So I worry a little bit about like triple stacking him. Ferguson might just be better on this particular build and get like a 1v1 with neighbors. And then we're not overstacking a low pass volume offense. I think that's probably how I would play it if we get Ferg back. If we don't get Ferg back, I think Chig makes some sense here. We could even pull up Jawan with the news around Tyson. I don't think that would be egregious. Now, Ferguson doesn't make it back. Maybe we take another running back and then get our first tight end at 148. Maybe that's the way to play it. Or we grab a wide receiver. I could go wide receiver. Tracy worries me a little bit because they just signed Najee. Now, I think Najee's probably pretty washed, but I don't know. I mean, this price on Andrews, he could be washed. I mean, it's a good price on Andrews. Why don't we just take it? Because, I mean, 141 Andrews, I think that's pretty reasonable for him. He's a fall here. I don't know if Fantasy Dog wanted him for like a bring back, but I had to go ahead and scoop him here. And then, I mean, we have Algier. We have Boston. I like Boston. If he's there, Travis Hunter. I think he'd be a good click here. Or we grab Jawan. We could also pull up Jalen here if we wanted to. I mean, he makes sense on this build to an extent from like a correlation perspective. We have Stafford, Tapuka, and we could get like a Jalen McMillan bring back. I'd probably prefer to play it through like Hurst or Otten, to be honest, but we could do that if we wanted to. Let's see. Just trying to think of how I want to play this build. It's kind of an interesting spot. I don't really need a quarterback here. I could take Brenton Strange, could take Travis Hunter, or I could take Jawan or Boston, but Boston just went. I think I might just play it through Jawan. I'm going to pull him up a little bit. It's not a big pull up here, but I feel like I need help in that room more than anywhere else. We have the 2-month injury to Tyson. So why not just grab Jawan Johnson here, who's probably going to, take some of those vacated targets, depending on how long Tyson is out. It could, I mean, I hate to say it, but it could just turn into like a lost season for somebody like Tyson too, who's going to be behind the 8 ball as a rookie, can't practice, he has to learn the playbook. I just hate it when those types of, rookies get injured. Maybe he's back around for week 17, but I don't know. I think that's a fine click to take Jawan here. Plus we got the fall on Andrews. I feel really strong with these first 4. Makai Lemon, he's whatever, but that's a good price on him at 193. Didn't really like the running back options there, so figured we go with the extra tight end there. All right, let's get back to the board view. Hartman asks, what's a reasonable pick? What pick is reasonable to take Tyson? Yeah, that's one I struggle with a little bit. 2 months as a rookie, never good. I think he has to fall at least a round for me. So if he was going at like 70, what was it? I think it was like 77, 75 was his ADP. In this particular one, where did he come off the board? Just looking. I'm terrible about finding players. Okay, he went off at 79. So, I mean, that still feels a little rich for me. I feel like he should be going around like in the 80s. Somewhere in the 80s. Like, what's the difference between him and Makai Lemon at this point? I just got Makai Lemon at 93. They're both first round. Now, you could argue he's in a higher pass volume offense, but they both have ones in front of them. Right? Lemon's not hurt. Tyson is, and I got him at a better price. So I don't know, 90s. I mean, what? Yeah, 140s are. I don't know. Like, I'd have to think about it. But Travis Hunter here, that you're right. I feel like I'm probably way off on that. I don't know about 140s. I don't know if I would say that low, but a couple rounds. So I'd have to do the whole exercise where I go, would I rather take Tyson or Samuel? Would I rather take Tyson or Stribling? I mean, at this point, right? Like, he's probably after guys like Stribling. So 140s, that might be a little too much. What I said, like the 90s, that's probably too little. So let's just say around pick 100 for now, and then we'll kind of see where he settles in. But yeah, I'm definitely not taking him until I see some repricing on him. You're under the impression he's not going to play until week 9. I heard a 2-month injury. Man, we could triple this out, but I think we grab Strange here. It's good pricing on Strange. We're making a bet now on Jacksonville at this point. We have Strange at 172. Like, what's going on with Strange? I saw no news on him. Maybe I missed something. But I have like 3 pieces of Jacksonville, which is, a team that's projecting to win. I don't know. Let's go over here and look at the teams. I think they've got like a 11 or 10 win total. NFL teams. Jacksonville, 9.5. I mean, we're talking about a team that's supposed to win, 9 to 10 games. I bet they're probably going to win more than that. I take the over on that. I don't know. This feels like good pricing. 165 for Travis Hunter, 172 for Brenton Strange. Whatever. I paid market here for Chris Rodriguez, but those other two, that feels pretty damn good. Looking at my build, 2463. I think this is probably like a 2673. I definitely want at least 2 more running backs. Absolute minimum 6 running backs on a build like this. You could even say 7. This could be like 2763. I don't do those a lot, but 2673 feels appropriate. And I'll come back and look at your team here at the end. Fantasy Dog 1. I kind of got distracted with some things. So we'll look at your team at the very, very end. I need to find my way here at the top. Guys that I would click here, I like Dylan Sampson. I like Mike Washington. We could get a high-value handcuff in B-Rob. Sean Tucker makes sense on a build like this where I'm consolidating or where I have the Rams pieces and we could play that Rams game. I think I can stop at 3 now. I was a little worried, on when I was going to get who I was going to get here, but with the Brenton Strange fall to 172, I'm done at tight end. I'm probably going to stop at 2 quarterbacks on this one. I think 2, 6, 7, 3 is sort of how I want to structure this. Unless I wanted to add another quarterback, but Hurts with the rushing upside. Damn, Sampson just went. That would have been my dude. We got the fall on Pacheco. Man, I haven't been taking a lot of Pacheco, but now that Najee signed with the Giants, I think we don't have that threat anymore. So if y'all want to give me him at 189, I think at this point I might start clicking a little bit of Pacheco if he's going to fall into this range. Definitely not clicking him in the 170s, but at 189 on that offense, anything could happen to Gibbs. And if something does happen, he's an inefficient player, but he's on a good offense. At pick 190, I'm going to go ahead and scoop that. And then I think one more running back at least, and then probably one more wide receiver. And we'll end this 2, 6, 7, 3. I mean, B-Rob is the direct backup to Bijan. Again, I don't know that he has any standalone value. I don't know if I want to take Tucker over him, though. That doesn't feel right. I guess I will just take B-Rob. You know, I could get Tucker for the game stack, you know, the bring back with Stafford to Stafford to Puka with the Sean Tucker bring back, but I think the wiser pick here is Brian Robinson, because he probably will have a little bit of standalone value, not a lot, but if anything happens to, I mean, I'm basically handcuffing the top 2 guys off the board in Gibbs and Bijan. You know, maybe they don't hit the lineup unless there's an injury, but to have those guys here at pick 189 and 196, I think we can get by. We got 2 starters here, possibly 3, depending on how well Tootin does this year. I don't know. That's still an ambiguous backfield to me. And then Harvey's kind of a splashy guy, you know, high risk, high reward. I want to end this with a wide receiver, and then we'll wrap it up there. But yeah, that's a good question that Harvin brings up about Tyson. I do think you're probably more right than I am when I said, you know, a round or 2. It's probably like 3 or 4. It'll be interesting to see where he settles in. I'm thinking through what I want here. I think Booty is kind of a nice click. There's Vele down here. I think Booty or Vele make quite a bit of sense on this build, because I've got some pieces of that Week 17 game in Atlanta and New Orleans, so I could see tagging up those guys. We were just talking about what's going on with Tyson and when he could, if he's not starting till Week 9, then Vele to me feels like a smash at this point. So we'll see if he's here. There's no real stacking options left on the board for these 2 guys. So I think I want to play this through Vele or Booty. Fantasy Dog 1 says, I can see Gibbs getting all the goal line carries when they have a ramrod like Pacheco. I mean, yeah, that's fair. Like I said, I'm on this build, I'm looking at him strictly as a high value handcuff. Probably no standalone value. If there is any, that's just a little cherry on top. But to get him at 189, we just saw Najee sign today with the Giants. So that, you know, threat of them bringing in Najee's gone. Now, that doesn't mean they can't trade for Connor. He says I'm taking Vele. Well, you don't have position on me, buddy. So I'm taking Vele. So I don't know what to tell you there, homie. You needed inside position in order to get that click. So anyways, not to be a jerk, but I gotta build the best team to advance. You needed that inside position on me. Now, if you had that, you know, he's all yours, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. Anyways, so yeah, let's go over these teams and we'll review them. 2, 6, 7, 3 for me, and we have a 3, 5, 7, 3 here for Fantasy Dog. My team is Jalen Hurts and Matthew Stafford. Running backs, David Montgomery, Ramondre Stevenson, RJ Harvey, Chris Rodriguez, Isaiah Pacheco, and Brian Robinson. Wide receivers, we have Puka. I thought wrong, nothing new. Oh, okay. I thought you were like asking me not to draft him, and I was like, I kind of have to do that. I've got some pieces in that game, but if I didn't need that, I probably would have just let you have him. Wide receivers here though: Puka, Neighbor, Smith, Evans. So 4 strong here at the top. Lemon on the slide, double stack with Hurts. Bring back with Evans. Travis Hunter at 165. There's some real FUD around him, but we saw, there's news today that Parker Washington is injured, undisclosed injury, no information. He's going to be out a week, but I don't know. Travis Hunter at 165. I'm taking that. And then Vele, because of the Tyson injury, I've got the Jawan piece here, and I've got, bring back here with B-Rob. So kind of playing into that week 17 game. And then I don't know what this is all about. 172 Brenton Strange. That was a very easy click. So ultimately, I think my weakest room is probably the running back room, because I start at 45. Got 69, 100. That's a good price on Harvey. So yeah, I mean, it's only 4 guys I can really rely on. And then these are really like injury dependent picks. But I think at that pricing, I think that's pretty good. So 2, 6, 7, 3. And then we're going to move over here to our homie Fantasy Dog 1. He goes the classic 3, 5, 7, 3. Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, and Willis. I mean, that's a powerhouse room. You've got the rushing upside. And then you've got 2 elites here in Joe Burrow and Mahomes. I'm sure he did a good job of stacking them up. I already know he's got Rice and Chase. We'll see what else he did there. This running back room, he's got Scat, Judkins, Dowdle, Tracy, and Mike Washington. Yeah, I feel like this is a really solid 5. You've got 2 starters here, probably a 50-50 split there in Pittsburgh. Tracy, I think this is fine. He's going to fall, and you already got him at start. You're getting him in the 140s now. That probably got a little bit to do with the Najee signing. He also had the missed pass protection where Dark got blown up, and I've seen him slipping pretty much ever since then. But I think he'll be fine. I don't think Najee's honestly that good at this point. We'll have to see what his role is. This wide receiver room, he gets Jamar Chase, Drake London, and Rashi. So 0 RB start here, 3 studs at the top. Comes back and gets Boston, Caleb Douglas, Jeremy Bernard, and Tyquan Thornton. That's kind of how I like to play it too. You could argue for an 8th, I think, but you don't have to. But coming back at 147, I think you could have taken 1 in between there, or just, I could see an 8th on a build like this. I think it's fine. You went extra strong at the the quarterback room. I do this too, but I also have a rule sometimes where if I go 2 in the top 100, I'm happy stopping at 2. You grab Willis and you stack him up with Douglas. I like that. Douglas had a nice catch today in practice. Bernard consolidating here with Pittsburgh. He looked good too in that preseason game. And then Tyquan Thornton for a deep threat. He could be the wide receiver 3 there in Kansas City. That's a double stack. And then you turn it into a triple stack because you get Kelsey back here at 1. You take him at 118 here. Pitts, Kelsey, and Hawkinson. You could probably stop at 2. I mean, Pitts and Kelsey, I think, is enough. I don't know if you needed Hawkinson, honestly. I mean, I guess you paid market for him. I might stop at 2 on a build like this. I'm not, again, everybody kind of does it a little different, but I feel pretty good with Pitts and Kelsey. I'd probably turn this into a wide receiver. I don't know what was around you at 166, but if we take a quick look. Yeah, I'm taking Jacoby Lane there if I'm you, because not only is he getting all the buzz in camp, you also have the Kansas City, or you have the Cincinnati game. So you could have went Burrow, Chase stacked up, and you get the Jacoby Lane bring back. That's how I would want that for week 17 personally. That's the one change I would have made to your roster. I think everything else is total fire. But if I was doing that, I would have clicked Jacoby Lane right here and taken the bring back, taken the two, the two guys that are getting all the buzz here. Now you would be adding a third rookie, but they're the rookies you want. You want Lane, you want Douglas, you want Bernard. Those are the guys you want. So it's 3 rookies in the wide receiver room. I get that. I get a little skittish when I add probably more than 2. But for this build, I think Lane does more for you than Hawkinson does. And that's just, again, that's a personal preference. That's the only thing I would have changed with this build is Lane over Hawk. Otherwise, I think this is fire. And again, that's just how I would build it. I'm not saying you do it that way. Everybody does it a little different. But Pitts and Kelsey, like, dude, those are 2 studs. Like, you don't need a third. And Hawk, he doesn't have a bring back. I don't think he does anything like correlation wise. Let's see. We'll go to the best ball zone real quick. Just take a quick look at that. What is it? I just went past them. Okay, here we go. Minnesota, Detroit, Washington, Jets. So, I mean, I don't think you have any of those pieces. Not to say everything has to be correlated. If you were getting them on like a 20 pick slide or something, and you're really scooping value, I think then you take him. But Jacoby Lane, like, dude, that guy's like fire right now. So I'm taking that. But I mean, otherwise, that's a sick build. It still is a sick build. That's just one piece of feedback, I guess. That's what we're here for, right? All right, I'm going back in. 10-second countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Waiting for 1. So if you guys are there, you probably are already in or got it. We can do some friends and family here. Oh yeah, we got some heavy. Well, we got 1 in here. I see Hartman made it in. So at least Hartman and I will be battling. We have Jake Keys, who's got some goat horns. Ben Snick. And then it looks like, I don't know if you were trying to get in Fantasy Dog, we missed you on this one. But yeah, no, that was a fun draft. I liked Fantasy Dog's team more than mine. I wish he would have just taken Jacoby Lane, and then he probably has a shipper. And he could still have a shipper, but then he's probably definitely got a shipper. Mine, I didn't like my running back room. I kind of put myself into it. Oh, we had to deposit. Oh, shoot. Okay. Damn it. I hate when that happens. You're down. If you would have thrown that in there, I would have tried to pause it. We would have redone it, but it's okay. I'm going to try to do 2 more. So we'll do this one and 1 more. I'm going to try to do 4 today. I've got time to just rip them. This is the last day probably for Puppy 3. So if you stick around, we can probably get 1 more in together. I'm at the 3. I'm going to build out. I'm going to try to build out Fantasy Dog's team there. We'll see how close I can get. We're going to do the Fantasy Dog build here. Shut up. Did I make it? Am I being a jerk? I'm not trying to be a jerk if I am. I'm just filling dead airspace. All right, I won't say anything. It's gonna be really quiet in here for the next 50 minutes. All right, so I'm gonna do. Yeah, I actually really like that build that you put together. So I don't know I think the hardest part is gonna be to get London back. But I do like what you did there. I like that Rice click because you're in a good spot to get Patrick Mahomes. I don't know if the room's going to give me back Burrow like the room gave you. But yeah, I really did like that build. So we'll see what variations come out of here. But but we're gonna try to mimic Fantasy Dog 1 with some slight variations. And then Hartman, what does Hartman do? Okay, he gets Pook at 5. That dog, man, he's already got a leg up on me because he gets the slip on Puka to 5. This Rook over here pulls up Taylor to 4, and now I've got to play catch up with Hartman. Okay, yeah, I'd be down if I dupe his lineup. We split first, or maybe I take Jacoby Lane if he comes back at 160, whatever. And who knows? If I win, but I win copying his build, then he'll get a nice treat in the mail. Let's put it to you that way. All right, if you guys are coming in late, appreciate you stopping by. Smash that like button if you haven't already. That's going to help me grow this channel. I'm streaming every day from now until the start of the NFL season. Kickoff is in 22 days, 3 hours, and 43 minutes. What is this guy going to do? He already is doing some goofy shit, so we'll see what he decides to do. Of course, he takes London and doesn't let me copy it. Shit. I'm going to go... I'm kind of torn between these 3. Maybe I'll just cycle it and let the fantasy gods pick for me. Okay, we go Neighbors. Neighbors it is. This is the time box tournament. I think Neighbors is fine. I had 0 Neighbors going into these last 3 drafts, so I guess I pick them up twice over 98. I don't know why it worked out that way, but Chase and Neighbors, that feels pretty good. I know I have to worry a little bit about injury and when he's going to be coming back, and I'm going to take Rice on the way back because I really like what you did there with Mahomes and getting that Mahomes piece, and then Kelsey's in that range. So, unless it's, yeah, I was going to say Pickens isn't going to be there. So we're going Rice. This is the Chase, Neighbors, Rice start. I would have wanted the London piece, didn't get it. So we go with Neighbors. Slight variation here to Fantasy Dog 1 start in the last draft. And then we got Puka and Bowers here for Hartman. What's he going to do here at 29? He's pulling up McConkey. Okay. I'm really excited to see how he builds this out. He's basically pulling up to the mid-third, which is obviously a pull-up. 29, ADP of 34. I mean, he goes anywhere in the third, so I know what you're doing. You're just trying to get some unique combos here. But I'm really curious how you build this out. I think we both have 2 really solid starts here. You get Puka at 5, follow it up with Bowers at 20, and then you pull up Ladd. I think this gives you a much better chance of getting the stack with Herbert because he doesn't make it over. You're going to take him at 77. I already know what you're going to do. But we're going to battle a little bit for players now because I want some of those Chargers pieces. All right, we'll see you later, Fantasy Dog. Come back later, or I'll post it out there on Twitter so you can see how the final build shapes up. We'll compare it to yours and kind of see what the variations are. But yeah, appreciate you stopping by, man. Have a good rest of your day. Thanks for coming in and drafting with us. Now you've got the Kansas City piece, or the Chargers pieces. I've got Kansas City, so we're gonna have to give each other a few of those players here. We'll see how it goes. I'm not gonna take your I'm not taking your Herbert though. I promise you that. All right, so coming up here on pick 46 and then again at 51. What do we want to do here? He went scat. I like that start. If he's there. Hartman goes with Swift. Okay, gets his first running back at Swift. ETN's off the board. I'll take Scat here. I don't take a ton of him, but we are into this Giants. So I guess I'll just consolidate a little bit into our Giants bet with Cam Scatabo and Malik Neighbors. And then I've got Chase and Rice here. Triple wide receiver start. Damn, I got to remind myself what we did there. All right, we are going Puppy 3. What was that last build? Okay, I could go Tuen or Judkins. I just personally think Judkins is a much better football player. Like in a vacuum, they're not even close. Now, obviously, he is on a good offense, but I'm gonna go with Judkins on this one. I'm just gonna kind of copy out that build a little bit that we saw from Fantasy Dog. Hartman says I'm moving up Swift a little bit with the Manungai injury. Yeah, I agree. I think I did the same on the very first build before you came in. I pulled Swift up a little bit for that exact reason and talked just a little bit about it. But I 100% agree with Hartman here. Swift should be moving up with that Manungai injury. Hyperextended knee. I think it's a few weeks at least, but obviously that could have a lingering effect on a running back. He's not coming in and out of breaks like a wide receiver. So obviously, I think if you're talking about a wide receiver with a hyperextended knee, it's probably more worrisome than a running back, but, worrisome nonetheless. And then also QJ, the wide receiver, got injured today. I did not see that. So a little pull up there on Lad. How bad is the QJ injury? Let's see. Where's he at here? Not expected to miss much, if any, practice time. Okay, so not too bad. Lower body injury here for Johnston, but he was already overpriced. Maybe this will, the market will readjust him a little bit. I think it's certainly warranted. Not sure if the room's going to give me Burrow back. I have to get past. Where's Chase Brown? Chase here, and then Higgins. Is this guy going to take him at 61? That feels a little rich. He takes Jackson, so I off of that concern. Now I just have to see if the Brown drafter wants him. He already has Allen. And then other than that, we'd be talking about somebody taking him unstacked. We do have a few no badges here, so it's possible one of these rookies want to take him unstacked. If not, I'll take Burrow here at 70. And let's see. So Hartman took Bucky at 53. That makes sense with the Puka piece. He's getting the 1v1, getting started in that game stack, or that week 17 game, I should say. Not a game stack yet. I want Burrow here, clearly. I don't know if the room's going to give him to me. There really are no backstacking options, but with these no badges, it's always hard to say how they're going to treat it. Not worried about Hartman. I don't know about this guy. We are 2 picks away here. Of course. All right, that's fine. He wants to do that, keep me from stacking it. We'll just go Daniels. He's probably a better click anyways. So we'll grab Jaden Daniels here. and get our elite. And then, I mean, yeah, it does. This guy, you know, he's just he's keeping the integrity of the room, I guess. He takes an unstacked Joe Burrow. I worried about that with, you know, without any badges. You don't know how guys are going to play it. But we'll gladly take Jaden Daniels here at 70. I have zero issues with that price. And then coming back here, I think I would prefer Pollard, because I started off late at running back. So let's go Pollard here. I think you could also argue Tucker, or if you like Brooks there, or Reed. Those are probably the only ones that I would have on my short list. But I'm going to take Pollard here at 75. I think he's an awesome RB3, and with the late start here at running back, I like that a lot. Now we're into, like, since I don't get the Chase Burrow stack, you know, I'll be looking at Dart, and I am also going to be looking at Mahomes in this range. You get your Herbert piece at 77. I like it. Pulls up Ladd to 29. Gets Herbert there at 77. Gets the Herbert Ladd stack. And then what else are you doing here? You grab Bowers for the elite tight end. You got two starting running backs here, and the correlation week 17, Puka to Bucky. And since you had sort of made up your mind on Herbert there, you grab Metcalf to get your third. I like it. Yeah. I think if I'm taking a wide receiver in that range, it's Metcalf. He's probably the only one I'm taking in the 6th round. I like Reed in the 7th. I'm fine with Reed or Metcalf. I don't like the other guys in that range. I don't like QJ. Tyson now's dead to me in that range. Yeah, I think that's the right way to play it for sure. All right, so back on the clock at pick 94 and then again at 99. All right, so 94 and 99. We'll see if this room wants to give me Mahomes. This guy, I was going to say he could pull him up for Walker, but you don't see that a ton. I'm looking for other threats here. You know, somebody could click him and then backstack like Xavier Worthy, because he's consistently going in this range. So I could see Mahomes going off anywhere here. If Mahomes goes off here in this range, then I'll probably just take a wide receiver here and then grab like Dart at 99 and stack him up with Neighbors and Scat. Now you could argue that I should take the double with Dart regardless, because I have the double, but I'm not gonna take Jackson Dart over Patrick Mahomes if they're both on the clock there. I could try to push Mahomes around the turn here, but I don't know if I want to risk that. Do I want to risk that for... Do I want to risk that for Sam Laporta? I guess I do, because I have two quarterback options. So if Laporta makes it back to me, and this guy might take him, because this guy's he's a newbie. No, he should take him if he likes him. Oh, cool. He took Tyson. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. I'm going to go Laporta here. And then I'm going to take either Mahomes or Dart. I figured since I have chances at getting both of them, they could both go, and then I guess I'm screwed. But you got to take some chances in life, right? So the preference is Mahomes. Mahomes at 99. I don't know. I guess this guy could double tap like Mahomes, Xavier Worthy or something like that, and get like a cheap little stack at the turn. He doesn't do that. He takes digs. So 2 away on the clock at 99. Hartman goes double Pittsburgh wide receivers here. So he gets Metcalf at 68, comes back and gets Pittman at 92. That sets up for his Aaron Rodgers double stack late. All right, and we do get Mahomes back. So we didn't get the Burrow piece, but we did get the Mahomes piece. It's a little unfortunate, but it is what it is. I'm probably stopping at 2. You know, I could do like what Fantasy Dog 1 did there and grab like a Willis, but I don't know. I generally am the type that'll stop 2 if I get them before 100. We'll just have to see how the rest of the build plays out here. I mean, Hartman says DK in the 6 felt a bit gross. I mean, it did, but like to your point, like it's just like a gross range. I don't know what else I would have done there. I guess you could have gone like Daniels and double tapped the elite quarterbacks, or you pull up like Pollard or something like that if you wanted to get your third running back. You really don't have a lot of options. I think it's like Pollard, Metcalf, or you double tap like elite quarterbacks. Like maybe you take Caleb Williams or Swift, and then you get Herbert, but then you're a little behind at wide receiver at that point. So I think it's kind of gross, but structurally, I think it's the right click. It's like not a good range on the board right now. All right, quick recap of the team. We have Jaden Daniels and Patrick Mahomes. Running backs, Cam Scatterbo, Quinshon Judkins, and Tony Pollard. Wide receivers, Jamar Chase, Malik Neighbors, and Rashee Rice. And then at tight end, we have Sam Laporta. We've got Jaden unstacked, and then we have Rice stacked up with Patrick Mahomes. And then we have some consolidation here on Scat and Neighbors. Nothing else really cooking otherwise. If you wanted, you could have went Laporta there instead of Pittman if you really like the correlation. That's another way I think I would have seen myself maybe possibly clicking Laporta there. But that's just, I think I like to correlate a little bit more than most people. I try not to over correlate, but it's something that, I don't know, I do probably a little more than I should. Now this draft, I'm not over correlating. I'm just kind of getting some dudes, but we'll see who's in this range. Jacoby here at 118. I like that price on him. I'm probably clicking. Okay, Gainwell does end up going. So let's go. Yeah, let's go Jacoby here. And then I could get into Travis Kelce. Maybe I should have clicked Kelce and then taken the whatever wide receivers come back. Maybe that's the safer way to play it. I know that's what Fantasy Dog did, because I know his pick 118 was Kelce. I just remember it. So that's maybe the way to play it if you want to secure the stack. I didn't think about that before I made the click. We'll see if this guy cares for Kelce, or does he see something else that he likes? That's really the question. Does he like Kelce? He doesn't. He opts for the third quarterback in Tyler Shuck. Now this guy, he grabs C-Rod, so I guess I'll go ahead and grab Kelce here. Yeah, let's grab Kelce. That secures the double. And we get him at pick 123. I'm done at tight end here. You know, I know Fantasy Dog added that late tight end. I guess if you get like a screaming deal, I never say never. But to me, Laporta and Kelce, just like Pitts and Kelce, That to me is like a 2 and you're done kind of build, 9 times out of 10. And so that's probably how I'm gonna sort of think about this build the rest of the way is Laporta, Kelsey, stop at 2, Jaden Daniels, Mahomes, maybe at a third, but I'm happy stopping at 2. And then we'll kind of just see how the rest of these rooms play out. But I'll be clicking, be on the clock again here at 142 and 147. DHM09, he ends up grabbing Dobbins at 101. I like that price. Gets Kittle and Samuel, so he's consolidating here into that San Francisco offense. I like those prices on both those guys. Now, did Stribling go ahead? Yeah, Stribling again. This Stribling thing is like for real now. He's going up into like the 110s. You know, I'm seeing this a lot now. He's not even making it back to the 120s anymore. So Stribling in the 110s. He's flipped Debo now at this point. I still think I like Debo over Stribling. I don't know. Maybe that's crazy, but the market doesn't agree. The market's moving Stribling up at this point. He's basically flipping Debo at this point. Oh, let me see your, he says he's got a lot of week 10 buys. Oh, triple week 10. Okay. Yeah, you're going to need to get off of that at some point, but you're not dead. It's just, you got to find a way to, you know, scrap some week 10 points together. And Hartman's still Debo over Stribling as well. So there's at least a couple of us that think Debo over Stribling. I don't know. It's probably going to be hard to get Stribling at this point, and we'll just be taking more Debo. I think I got him once or twice after that preseason game, and then that was it. His price just got too expensive. I don't think I'm going to be adding too much more Stribling into the portfolio at this point. Now in this range, I like, you know, the usual suspects here. Rashid Shaheed and Denzel Boston. I think those guys are awesome. I was going to say Woody Marks. I would have liked him to come back. Now I'm a little behind here at running back. I might have to pull somebody up. I don't like that. The guys to my right have 3 and 4. So who's the best running back on the board? We have, I can't pull up Coleman over Boston. I'm going to have to hope I get Coleman back because I'm taking Boston there for sure. And then I'm going to hope Coleman comes back. Otherwise, it's Bigsby. I don't want to get Spears because I have... So I guess it's one of these two guys. And I don't like this price on Bigsby at all. But I don't know. Do I just keep pushing it? I'm trying to think through what I want to do here. Maybe I just get stronger at wide receiver. I will take Coleman if he makes it back. If Coleman doesn't make it back, okay, I will take Coleman because the buzz and the drumbeat on him has been pretty good. So we will go Coleman at 147. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that turn. We get Boston at 142. Come back and get Coleman at 147. 2-4-5-2. Jaden Daniels, Patrick Mahomes. Running backs, Scatterbo, Judkins, Pollard, and Coleman. Wide receivers, Chase, Neighbors, Rice. 3 in the first 3 rounds. Come back and get Jacoby at 118. And then Boston at 142. And then 2 really strong tight ends, in my opinion. We have Laporta on the high pass volume Detroit Lions, and then Travis Kelce stacked up with Patrick Mahomes. So feeling pretty good about this one. And Trey Harris gets pulled up to 152. I figured he would have probably gotten picked by Hartman, maybe on the way back. Maybe not, because he's got Laporta, or not Laporta, what am I thinking? McConkey. But since he gets pulled up, I have no shot at Trey Harris here. I was hoping to get him as a bring back. to my Kansas City pieces. That didn't work. And I also didn't have a chance at Mitchell. I would have had to pull Mitchell up to 123, which I wasn't going to do. He had to come back to 142. So those were kind of the two Chargers pieces that I wanted to pair with my Kansas City pieces, and it just didn't happen. But this price on Harris, Trey Harris, 152, damn, that's a little rich. I like him a lot. I just don't like him at that price. Now here, don't really like the running backs on the board. I mean, I would be okay with a Marshawn Lloyd if he made it back, but I'm not crazy about him. I guess maybe Jaden Blue, if he makes it back, potentially, because I've got some pieces in that offense. Ha! I told you, man, I'm not entering the Vertex. Hartman says 18th round Kolar is calling my name. And I'm out, man. I am straight up out on that. Okay, Hartman goes blue. So now I'm going to have to make separate plans there. I think I'll go Flournoy because I've got some pieces. I'll get the bring back here in Flournoy to my Giants pieces. And then again, I don't like Pacheco at this price. He's been falling. Samson doesn't make sense on this build though, because I have Judkins. Don't really want to go double Brown's backfield. So maybe I just skip here and I grab, let's see what this guy does first. Damn it. Took my dude. I wanted Cyrus Allen. I don't take a lot of them. Well, then at that point, man, there's just nothing good here. I guess I'll take... I take Wicks. I guess I take Wicks. I don't love it, but I just don't like anything else on the board there that like I have to have. I'm not taking Gadsden. I could have taken Pacheco, but I don't like him at this cost. So we'll just go with Wicks. That's a, 6-pick slide on him. I'm probably done now in this wide receiver room. I was looking for Jacoby Lane, of course. In my build, I want Jacoby Lane, and he's not there. Fantasy Dog has him. I guess I could have taken him at 166. Oh, I did miss it. I did miss it. But I didn't have the stack with Chase and Burrow. I ultimately ended up going with the bring back. I don't know. I guess I didn't have either quarterback there. So Lane was probably the right pick. Listen to me talk about that with Fantasy Dog, and then I don't even take it myself. That's probably what I should have done here. It should have been Jacoby Lane over Flournoy, and I just missed it. Damn it. All right, well, that stinks. Yeah, that would have been probably what I should have done. I should have said screw it on Flournoy. Probably could have got Flournoy or Wicks on the way back, and I could have taken Lane right there. Now back in this range, I want to add maybe two more running backs. I don't really feel like I need a tight end. Don't feel like I need quarterbacks at this point. I've kind of committed to the 2 tight end, 2 quarterback build. So I'm thinking running back here. Now, what do I want to do? I guess I could add to the tight end room at this point if I wanted to. If there's a good deal, like a Barner fall here. If he makes it all the way back, I would be interested. Other than him, Cade Otton, and these other guys that I like, those are probably the 2 names that I like, since I don't really have any stacking options. Pacheco on this one goes off at 183, so he slides, but not quite as far as he slid on the last draft. What are my picks here? It's 190 and 195. Okay. 190 and 195. He goes B-Rob. Shoot. All right, well, I'm taking Emmett Johnson then. At this point, he's a stack. I need a fifth. I like how he looked in his game. He's probably nothing, but if he is something, or if Kenneth Walker gets hurt, I have the stack with Mahomes, so I'll take him. And then I also like Braylon Allen. You got the groin injury right now going on with Breece Hall. So don't mind adding him here as a sixth. I mean, I didn't get my first running back into Scat, and he's injured. I mean, this is honestly probably like a bad pairing when you think about it. You got two guys coming back from ankle injuries. I probably should have went with like Bucky or Tootin there. Tootin would have made a lot more sense now that I ended up in the Daniels Washington Jacksonville game. Obviously, I couldn't have predicted that in that round, but in hindsight, it's looking a little bit sharper. Had I gone with Tootin. Again, assuming all these other things worked out the way they did, which is unlikely. I am going to grab Braylon Allen here. And then we're gonna be done at the running back position. I think if I would have gotten Blue, I would have gone like Blue and Emmett. But then here I'll just kind of reverse it and go Allen and Emmett. Obviously, the Dallas piece probably would have been better, but I know Hartman was working on those triple week 10 buys, so that makes sense that he took them there. Right, I got one more pick here, 2672. Excuse me, I've got the elite quarterback, and then I've got a nice pairing partner who's in a triple stack. I've got Scat, Judkins, Pollard, Coleman, Emmett Johnson, and Braylon Allen. Again, these guys are just kind of contingent upside, but good offense and stacked for Emmett Johnson. We've got the groin injury for Breece, and he looked decent in his return after that MCL injury last year. Coleman's been getting some buzz. He's still the 3, but maybe he jumps Harvey potentially. We'll have to see. And then I do like Pollard. These guys are coming back from injury, so it's definitely a little fragile now that I'm looking at it more closely. Chase, Neighbors, Rice, Myers, Boston, Flournoy, and Wicks. I think what I would have liked to have done here would have been take Jacoby Lane in place of Flournoy, and then Flournoy comes back. I don't take Wicks on a build like this, assuming Flournoy does come back. Now, if Flournoy doesn't come back, then you take Wicks. But I would have preferred one of these two and Jacoby Lane had I had a chance to redo it. So the same thing I talked to Fantasy Dog 1 about, I made the same mistake for different reasons, but I'm kind of kicking myself for that one. Now I'm going to target Bateman, or I'm going to pull up maybe just grab like Elijah Surratt, who also looked pretty good against the 3s or whatever it was. He had 6 for like 67. He did not get the touchdown. Lane got the touchdown, but he looked good against the backups. So I don't know. We'll have to see how that plays out in that Baltimore passing attack. But I think I take one of these two. All right, we're just going to go Bateman, I guess. I already have my rookie in Boston. I guess I could take 2. He's my bring back to Jamar Chase. We'll go Bateman here. And this one ends up being a 2-6-8-2. Jaden Daniels, Patrick Mahomes, Cam Scatabo, Quinshon Judkins, Tony Pollard, Jonah Coleman, Emmett Johnson, and Braylon Allen. Wide receivers, we have 8 of them. Jamar Chase, Malik Neighbors, Rashee Rice, Jacoby Myers, Denzel Boston, Ryan Flournoy, who should have been Jacoby Lane, Dontavian Wicks, and Rashad Bateman. And then we end it with 2 tight ends. This part, I like how I stopped at 2. Sam Laporta and Travis Kelce. So in the end, Jaden Daniels is unstacked, and I have just a 1v1 with him and Jacoby Myers. No other real pieces there. We have a triple stack here with Patrick Mahomes. We have Patrick Mahomes to Emmett Johnson, to Rashee Rice, to Travis Kelce. And I do not end up getting any bringbacks for that on the Charger side. I guess I could have grabbed Kolar over Bateman, but I didn't do that, and I'm happy I didn't. And then we're into this New York Giants Dallas game. We have Scat and Neighbors with the Flournoy bringback. 2 pieces of Cleveland here. Boston and Judkins with no Indianapolis pieces, but they do play the Giants week 15. So I like that for that 1 out of 10 week. We also got the Baltimore piece with Bateman at the end. So getting some week 15 and some week 16 correlation with our 2 Cleveland pieces. And then what about that triple stack? I'm kind of curious because there's a lot there. New England, I don't get any New England pieces, no Chargers, no San Francisco. So that's just purely a Kansas City team stack with no correlation. Okay. And then Detroit. I think Detroit plays the Giants, if I remember right. Yeah, Detroit and the Giants. So a little bit of that. And then, of course, the Dallas piece. Oh, and Cleveland. So I'm getting all 3 weeks, I'm getting something with those Giants pieces for the championship weeks. We get the 2 Cleveland pieces, Boston and Judkins. We get Laporta here. And then we get Flournoy week 17. So that's kind of interesting with how that played out. So yeah, overall, I feel pretty good. Maybe slightly light at the running back room. Happy stopping at 2 before 100. That's my rule. It's not a rule, but general rule of thumb, I should say. And then I feel good about these tight ends. So yeah, I think structurally it makes sense. I think the one click I'm kicking myself on is the Jacoby Lane pick instead of Flournoy. If I had this to do over again, I'd go Jacoby Lane right here and hope that Flournoy falls back. And if he doesn't fall back, then just take Wicks. But that's the one I'm kind of the most upset about. Let's go take a look at Hartman's team. DHM09, drafting from the 5 hole. He ends up with a 3-6-7-2. He's got Justin Herbert, Daniel Jones, and Aaron Rodgers. At running back, DeAndre Swift, Bucky Irving, and J.K. Dobbins. He mentioned the triple week 10 start here in the running back room. He handles that with Tajay Spears, Jalen Blue, and B-Rob. So I think you can probably count on some points here from Spears. And then, you got to get lucky with these 2 guys. I mean, they're going to probably hit your lineup regardless, but you just don't know what kind of points you're going to get. But I think Spears could definitely help you out there. Wide receivers, Puka, Ladd, Metcalf, and Pittman. So double stacks the Pittsburgh pieces there with Rodgers, and he gets the Tajay Spears bring back. And then he has Debo, Ridley, so it turns it into a game stack 3v2, and then grabs Bailey at the end here because he's just the guy you should be clicking in every draft because of the Tyson injury. He's got the correlation here with B-Rob. And then unstacked Daniel Jones to just get a 3rd. Probably going to get boxed out there, so grabs his second quarterback here with Daniel Jones, and then stacks up Rodgers. Single stack here with Herbert to McConkey, and no Kansas City pieces because I scooped all those up. And has the 1v1 here, Puka Nacua to Bucky Irving, 1v1. So some good correlation there on a game that I think we're all targeting. And then 2 studs, like this is a sick tight end room. Brock Bowers and George Kittle. Like if Kittle's back early, This is going to smash. He's going to be a flex play here. So, yeah, I mean, you don't have to worry about a running back in the flex week 10 because I think you'll get it from your wide receivers and or Brock Bowers. Or not Bowers, sorry, George Kittle. Bowers will hit the lineup too. So, love this team too. Yeah, really well structured. The only critique, and you found it early, was the triple week 10 bye in the running back room. Other than that, I think you have all the pieces you need to get out of here. All right, I'm deciding if I want to do one more or if I'm a little tired. That was my third or fourth. I don't even remember at this point. I'm a little exhausted. I might hop off here, and then if people are still drafting, I might come back tonight. I think I need to go out and touch some grass, go for a walk. So why don't we call it here? It's been fun chilling with you guys. As always, maybe I'll hop back on tonight if I'm feeling up to it. Otherwise, I'll be back on tomorrow. And yeah, we'll continue this through the end of the drafting season. 22 days, 3 hours, and 3 minutes until kickoff. We'll be streaming pretty much every day from now till then. But appreciate you guys stopping by the channel. As always, have a good rest to your day. If I don't see you on here later, take it easy. Be good. Peace.